Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm doing something a bit unique from my past videos, unique in the way that it's not an iceberg video. I will continue the ultimate iceberg of the unexplained, unsolved, and bizarre next, and the Gen Z trauma tier after that. So I suppose what I can do is make like 2 iceberg videos and then make one on an interesting individual topic as somewhat of like a base for this channel, but we'll see how that works out. Anyway, the topic for this video is a massive, mysterious figure that's etched into the ground. Nobody really knows why it's there or who made it. However, there are some theories, but before we go into those, let me explain this thing a bit more first. The official name for this mysterious and fascinating geoglyph is the Candelabro de Paracas, or just the Paracas Candelabra, and is in the southern coast of Peru, directly facing the water, which will be important later. This thing is massive. It's 595 feet long and 164 feet wide. It can be seen from miles or kilometers away. The lines are incredibly precise, and the sheer size of the figure would have required a significant amount of manpower and resources. The lines are too large to be created by hand, so some have suggested that the figure may have been created using some kind of aerial mapping technique to map out the design before etching it into the ground. The exact age of it is unknown, but it is believed to have been created by the ancient Paracas culture, who inhabited the area around 500 BC to 200 CE. There isn't much documented about this ancient society, but they were believed to have intricate textiles, advanced weaving techniques, and a powerful pantheon of gods, which once again will be important later. As seen by where this is etched, they were by the shore, so trade could have been important to these people as well. Now that we're caught up a little bit on the history of this figure, let's go into some theories as to what this could be. And I just want to say that out of these theories, 2 of these seem to be the most interesting, so I'll talk about those a bit more. But I'll start off with some of the more basic ones so we can build our way up. One of those basic ones, which I don't really buy, is that it was a large landmark to guide ships safely to shore. Now I get that it could have been possibly used for that, but I don't think it was the primary reason it was constructed. There isn't evidence showing that there were lights placed over there, torches or whatever, and that seems like it would be important if it was something to guide ships, like a lighthouse almost, but it wasn't. Now we're building up to some more interesting ones. Another theory suggests that it's a representation of a cactus, which was an important symbol for the Paracas culture. Their people, as I said before, were known for their elaborate textiles and ceramics, which often depicted images of plants and animals. Some researchers believe that the candelabra may have been created to represent a hallucinogenic cactus, which was used in religious ceremonies by indigenous people in South America for quite some time. Possibly the San Pedro cactus. It could have been one containing mescaline, which is chemically quite similar to LSD, and some people have stated that the effects of it are quite similar as well, just with more mild visuals. Though it is called a candelabro and not a cactus, so once again I don't really buy it. Not just for that reason. Another theory is that it could have been used for astronomical purposes. The geoglyph's arm appeared to point towards certain celestial bodies, including the Southern Cross constellation and the planet Venus. In addition, some researchers believe that the candelabra may have served as a giant calendar, marking the solstices and equinoxes. However, this theory lacks concrete evidence as well, though to be fair, most of them do. However, this could tie to the next theory that I'm going to discuss. So as I mentioned earlier, the Paracas people had a powerful pantheon of gods, one of which was Viracocha, who was the god of lightning and the lord of the heavens. And it is possible that this was a symbol meant to represent his trident, which was a weapon he wielded. I find this to be the most plausible because this was commonplace back then and still is kind of today. You know, making things dedicated to the gods. Powerful gods are super cool to me too, which is why this one is one of my favorites, but not my favorite. That one's for the end. This theory states that the geoglyph could potentially be related to the ancient Nazca society, which was a few hundred miles away from where the Paracas were and coexisted around the same time they did. They were also quite artistic and created a wide variety of intricate pottery, textiles, and jewelry. Like them, once again, not much is documented about their culture and society, and they also made some quite interesting series of geoglyphs called the Nazca lines. They're a bunch of massive intricate figures of different animals and other things like people and spiders, etched into the ground. And once again, the purpose for this is still unknown and up for debate. That being the case, going back to what I said earlier, some people think that both of these are related, though I don't know with this one since their art styles are quite different, so it's probably just a coincidence. Now we're getting into some more crazy stuff. Like in the first video I made with the UUAB iceberg, one of the topics was crop circles, and some people thought the reasoning behind it was aliens, whether it was to communicate with them or them leaving marks here to communicate with us. Like that, some people think that this and the Nazca lines were both made because of alien contact. The creation of these geoglyphs required significant planning and effort. They were likely created by removing the top layer of soil to expose the lighter colored soil underneath. And it is estimated that the Nazca lines alone required the removal of over 4,000 cubic meters of soil. It's difficult to imagine how ancient people without access to advanced technology could have accomplished this task. So I get why some people might think it's aliens, but maybe it's also just the sheer will and hard work of those people. So this one is kind of my favorite because it relates back to some of the earlier theories as well as powerful gods and all, which are pretty cool to me. So let me start off by explaining the first part of it. There's an ancient Hindu epic called the Ramayana. The basis of the epic is that Lord Ram was the heir to the kingdom of Ayodhya, but because of some unfortunate circumstances, his father was forced to banish his son from the kingdom for 14 years. Lord Ram was very humble and understanding, so he tells his father that he understands and not to worry. His brother Lakshman and his wife Sita accompany him, so they go to reside in a forest. Quite far away, there's the island of Lanka, inhabited by Rakshasas, a race of man-eating demons whose king is Ravana. He hears of Lord Ram being banished and also hears how his wife Sita is very beautiful, and being the greedy demon he is, he wants her. So he sends one of his men as a golden deer to distract Lord Ram and his brother Lakshman because Sita wanted to meet it. They draw a holy line around the small home they live in to protect her as no one can enter. So as they both go off, Ravana disguises himself as a monk asking for food and water from Sita. And her being a good-hearted person, she tries to give him some from behind the line, but he grabs her and kidnaps her. Upon discovering this news, Lord Ram sets off to rescue her and all the other people Ravana has imprisoned on his island. He gives him an offer to step down and resolve this peacefully, but Ravana with his big ego calls for war. That's the basic gist of it, but it is so much more complex. So much so that I actually might make another video on another interesting topic regarding the multiverse theory, which is in that epic as well. For those who want to watch it, an anime movie was made about it in the 90s and it's actually free to watch on YouTube and it's in English. I put it in the comics, though the movie isn't long enough to capture all of it. I mean, a 300 episode show was made on it and even that didn't. Anyway, it's regarded as one of the most significant writings in Hinduism, and in it there is a god of thunder, Lord Indra. He's also the Lord of the Heavens, and one of the weapons he wields is a trident. He's the god of thunder and Lord of Heavens in Hinduism in general, but the reason I bring up the Ramayana is because of a specific part of the story. So after Sita was kidnapped, Lord Ram stumbles upon a powerful god named Hanuman, and he brings them to Lord Sugriva, the son of Surya, the sun god, and the king of the Vanaras, a race of humanoid monkeys. While there, he talks about a distant land, one very far away. Over there, he says there's a trident-like figure with golden branches engraved into a mountain. He says that Lord Indra created this as a marking of the east. Now see where I'm getting at? The Paraka is a god of thunder, and the Lord of Heavens, Viracocha, also wielded the trident as one of his weapons. I find this most interesting not only because it could prove the events of the Ramayana, but also because it could change the way we look at the world and our history. According to historians, trade and contact between India and South America began around the 16th century. India and Europe share some similarities in their gods as well, and Europe's trade and contact with them was around that time period as well. So either the world was more connected back then than we think, or maybe the gods really did leave markings of their existence on our world. I found the Prakash Candelabra to be really interesting when I first heard of it, and I wanted to learn more about it, but there's no video, so now there finally is one. It was really hard finding information about all this because it isn't very popular, but I really had a lot of fun making this because I got to learn about this so much more, and learning about the Ramayana was really cool too. Regardless of what the reason behind the geoglyph is, it's still really interesting to think about. Like, is it a monument to the sheer will and effort of people? Is it proof of extraterrestrials visiting our planet? Or is it a marking of the ultimate beings of our universe? Or maybe something else entirely? But I'll leave that to you all to decide. So thank you all very much for watching, and bye.